All right. Hello, everyone. I am here again. I'm Calamity Jen, and I am interviewing yet again my wonderful husband, John, but not in his business or work capacity. Tonight, because it's nighttime at the moment, but I'll put this out for the morning. We are talking to him in his capacity as the Strait Shooter, which is the only source of satirical news out here in Clallam County. And
That,
that came from you, correct?
that's correct.
All right. So, why don't you explain a bit how it came about? Because it just started this year, just probably a couple months ago, we started doing this. And I'm in on it too, of course, but he was the one who conceptualized it. So, why don't you talk about that?
So the initial, I was a subscriber of the Clallam County Watchdog, and I really liked his content because I didn't see any of that information being put out there. And I thought, maybe I could do something similar to that, which is putting out information. And I subscribe to a national and international um, intelligence report put out by former military people and economists and whatnot. And they every morning I get a briefing that shows particular news. And I thought, hey, that would be something that would be really good to put out here in Clallam County because there's not a lot of information. So to do that, I was looking up RSS news feeds from the county. I picked out several different uh, organizations that put out information, and some of them hadn't been updated since 2018, I think it
Something like
was.
that. It's been a few years, yeah.
So there was absolutely no way to glean information other than through the PDN or the Squim newspaper, any of the local newspapers out here. And I didn't feel that was a really good source of news. Um, Additionally, I started using ChatGPT to help with my business, which is the AI um, form. And I started asking it to tell me jokes. And then
Yeah.
I started asking it to um, make fun. Oh, we were making fun of a movie.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
it
right.
was.
We're coming up with one-liners for a really bad movie because I do IMDb and write reviews sometimes, and this movie was just so horrendous. And I usually don't do bad movies, like I don't give one stars, but I'm like, let's give it a lot of one-liners
Yeah, and so
for a
we
one-star
we
review.
we checked out ChatGPT to say, "Hey, give us some funny one-liners." And that night, some of the things it was coming up with were so funny, and I started asking it to make fun of all these other different things. And when I said roast, squim, the things it came up with were so funny, and we were just laughing about it. And then I was like, roast Port Angeles and roast Tacoma and roast Montana and all these places that we'd been. Um, and I thought, wow, this is really funny. So I don't remember exactly how the straight shooter came
Right.
about, but it came through the form of that.
Yeah. I know that you used ChatGPT to kind of really solidify the idea, like giving it a schedule every Tuesday and Friday,
Yeah.
kind of outlining how to operate a satirical news source.
Yeah. I think that
It
was,
gave us some guidance because, we have an idea, but ChatGPT, not to just praise the AI of it, but it's able to take information and everything how it works, it takes that information and then can apply it to your situation that you ask it about.
mhm.
And that's what it seemed to do.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, we don't write
No,
these articles.
not at all.
Um,
No.
as much as I'd like to take credit for it,
Yeah, we
I'm
don't.
not much of a writer.
Yeah.
But with
And
a
I'm no way
no, you're
that
much
witty,
better. You're a good
but
writer,
but
but
I can't think on that level. It's just so hilarious the stuff it comes out with.
yeah, it's amazing what it comes out with. They so with AI, we feed it prompts.
Ideas,
Yeah, and
rough outlines,
yeah,
ideas.
it's kind of like you have to be pretty specific with it, but sometimes what we do is we'll take a news story
From the
and
watchdog.
yeah, and link it, and I'll feed it into Chat GPT and say, read this article and come up with a funny story about it, and then it'll spit something out, and we read it, we determine whether it's good or not, or we say, hey, let's tweak it a little bit, let's add this, oh, put this in here, do this, and or typically it's the prompt is go harder,
Right. Go
go
harder.
go harder on these people,
Yeah, because they need it.
and then it comes out with stuff, and then it's really funny, and sometimes it comes up with stuff that's so hard we have to determine, do we want to post this?
Yeah.
And that's our litmus test. If we have to say, if we question whether or not we should post it, we'll post it.
Yeah, that's when we know it's like that's the level we want because it's like one of the articles early on was the homeless camp, kind of like Olympic game farm
Yeah.
done for homeless people. And it's not to make fun of homeless people or anything like that. It's the system.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to really poke fun at is the government out here, these NGOs, whoever's organizing some of this stuff. Excuse me, we're trying to really poke the fun at them. It's not about making fun of homeless people. It's just that's such an issue out here, the homelessness. And I that was my idea. I was, sitting here doing something and I'm like, what about this?
Yeah.
And it's like we kind of talk it out. And sometimes we have an idea and it's just not enough. So we still think on it. But I thought that article, I'm like, oh gosh, is that just gonna kind of maybe be a little too much for people? But then when I saw it, and I have never asked, Jeff, the watchdog, to say, hey, put this in your article. I never did that. I've never done that. He just takes it on his own. And I am so appreciative of that, and we both are. Um, and so when I saw that in his that he shared it, I'm like, well, it must not have been too much. It must have been just right. So that is how, and it's like I'm heavily involved. I'm the one who really just formats it out.
Yeah.
I operate the
You're like
Substack.
the editor.
I really am. I operate the Substack. I go in and like all the comments people give. I don't interact in comments because I just don't do that there, but I like all the comments. I work to make sure they're all liked because I like the comments. I really appreciate that, and I think you do too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And in fact, we get a lot of ideas from
Yes.
comments, whether it's Jeff's blog or your blog or
Mhm.
Straight Shooter. When people say things,
That's right.
we're like, "Oh, how about we do this?" And then we come up with something.
And there's this one guy, I think Wayne, he leaves comments that are so funny. I don't know if he's using Chat GPT or if he's coming up with them on his own, but they are hilarious because he takes, especially when we talk about Bell Hill. Whenever
Yes.
there's something about Bell Hill, he gets in on that and just takes it and runs with it and makes I crack up reading his comments because he just adds to the story. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, people are getting it. And that's another thing. So I know in our description page for it, it says it's kind of like the onion,
Yeah.
but I know for us personally and anyone else who's lived out here in the Pacific Northwest or, Washington, because we grew up here, we're both from the born in the 70s, and so we grew up with Almost Live. If anyone else remembers that wonderful show back in the time there, and that is one of definitely the styles we try to capture,
Yeah.
the spirit of it.
We said it was like a combination of the Onion and Almost Live.
Yeah.
And one of the other commenters said something about Mad Magazine
I've seen a
and
couple
how
of
it's
those
like
now.
Mad Magazine. Yeah, I grew up with Mad Magazine, Cracked magazine,
Yeah.
Crazy magazine. I loved all those things that made fun of they always made fun of movies and sports and all kinds of things, and I always thought that was hilarious.
And the thing for me that some of the articles that I try to think on, like the humor of it, if anyone remembers back in the 90s on Nickelodeon, there was a show, The Adventures of Pete and Pete. And the humor, it was just kind of off the wall 90s humor. Very, it's kind of subtle, but it's just like a wacky world people lived in. And that's kind of like the whole the the article we continue to do stories on, the roaming um
Golf caddy.
golf caddy. That just another idea that pops in the head, and it's just such a ridiculous concept. It doesn't have to be about making fun of government, but just like this odd little world out here, and we got this roaming golf caddy, and now it's picked up more along the way.
Mhm.
And it's just absurdity humor, and I think that's part of what I try to find in it too. Is it doesn't always have to be just about the government out here and making fun of them, even though they really really deserve it. It's just kind of wackiness.
Yeah, with a lot of Jeff's stories, it's real easy to read and just think,
Mhm.
oh, this needs to be made fun of.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to try to just make fun of the uniqueness of this area
Mhm.
and the different areas because like when we talked about Almost Live and how exciting it was to see your town being made fun
Yes.
of.
Yes, especially if you didn't we didn't live in Seattle.
Right.
So we're South Sound people, and so when they would say, like, Fife or something like that, it was like, "Oh my gosh, they said
Yeah.
Fife." It was so exciting.
To hear, yeah, to hear about it on TV, it was pretty cool. So even though we're poking fun of specific areas, we're doing it in, you know, good spirits. It's
Yeah.
it's not it's
Yeah.
not trying to be mean.
We're trying to really just include all these areas because to me, it's this little area out here on the peninsula is has is its own world in a way. And as long as we've lived out here, I've always thought, why isn't there more kind of an interest in what makes this place unique?
Mhm.
Why is there always so much focus on being like Seattle or anything that's not from here? Because this area has so much uniqueness to it, and that just like the characters that are out here, the people who are out here, the land, everything, the culture of what is out here, it's unique and it should be embraced. And I guess I think sometimes I don't see it embraced enough. It's more like let's bring in something from somewhere else in Washington State, a bigger city, and embrace that. It's like why? There's there's plenty out here on its own.
Yeah, and I think that any kind of media outlet that's promoting anything out here is so serious. Like, why,
Yes.
why not, why not have a little bit of fun? Take a poke at yourself, and um, I like self-deprecating humor. I think that like when you and I go out somewhere, one of the things I like to do is just try to make Jen laugh all the time. So if I have to do a stupid voice or if I have to walk stupid, just something that makes her laugh. That's like one of my goals when we
and,
go out.
and we laugh a lot.
Yeah.
We years ago we were out in Costco, and this nice little, not little, but nice old lady came up to us, and we're just sitting there laughing over something. You two are having too much fun,
Yeah.
and she was very sweet. She was just making fun of the fact that, yeah, you know what, you guys are having fun and no one else is having fun here. It's like, because for me, I'm a housewife, so I stay home 6 days of the week, go out on errand day, and I don't we went through some pretty hard financial times there. So we're not like we go out and go to the casino. We don't go out and do stuff really. We go out and do errands and take care of what needs to be done to take care of our home. And I just don't believe in Well, they're errands, you just can't have fun. So we go out and just doing everyday stuff. We try to have fun with it.
Yeah, and I work by myself most of the time. I occasionally talk to clients and things, but I'm mostly in my own head. Um, try to amuse myself. Try to
Yes. And then, like, for some of the stories you come up with, like, I'll come out in the morning or something, and he's sitting here laughing. I'm like, he must be working on a story. When I hear the way he laughs, I'm like, he must be working on a story. And then he reads it to me, and it's just hilarious stuff. And that's the thing of it, because we were using Chat GPT also for my Calamity Gen at times. My post, the as the commission churns
right.
and stuff, having it make up this teleplay about the commission out here and just other stuff. And when I'd read it, it's like, that's really funny. And things we had it create, we didn't share with others, but we'd sit here and read it and just laugh. And that is a big part of it. I think sometimes this area, there isn't enough humor and laughing out here.
Yeah, and I also like the idea that when you laugh at something, it kind of takes the power away from it. Like if you're
Yes.
afraid of something or something, if you can find something to laugh about it, it kind of takes that power away.
Yeah.
Like we were discussing with something wicked this way comes,
Right.
and how that's how they beat the bad guys. They
Mm-hmm.
laugh and they hoot and they holler
Because the
and
evil
everything.
feeds on you, those fears and the sadness and things like that. And his phone just keeps beeping. But that's what evil does. It feeds on the fear, and when you laugh at it, it kind of can't get at you then,
Right.
you know. And the thing is, I looked up too, because when I think I saw in comments somewhere, at least through my Calamity Gen one blogging it, bringing out the humor and memes even, and people commenting on that. And it reminded me of the fable, the emperor's new clothes. And I hadn't thought of that in a long time. And I was like, yeah, that at the end, the kid is laughing, pointing at the naked emperor, and everyone else isn't. And so I looked it up, and of course, Google AI gave me a nice little breakdown of it. But it's the idea of that laughter helped break through for people to see what it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what satire is, not just us, but
Hmm.
satire. It can bring in a new perspective of something that is looked at so seriously, and then all of a sudden it twists it a little bit, and you see the humor of it, and then maybe see the ridiculousness of what you're living in as well.
And hopefully there's a reaction to it too. Is if people start seeing that what they're doing is being mocked and is ridiculous as it
Hmm.
is, maybe it's time to do a U-turn and kind of fix what they're doing. And hopefully there are some people that are involved in politics out here that are seeing it and thinking,
Hmm.
hmm, these people are laughing at me. Maybe I'm not such a
Right.
big shot after all.
Because, admittedly, you and I, we do not get the local news, which I really feel it's not right to say the PDN or the Squim Gazette. It's all sound publishing.
Yeah.
It's one publishing company putting out three newspapers out here. We don't get any of them, but it's really just one. But we don't get it. We don't subscribe online, nothing. We don't, we might look at it when we're at your mom's house or something. We
I
just
look at it when I'm crinkling up paper to light a fire.
That's right, that's kind of the most use we have of it, for something like that. So, we don't really look at it every day, but when we first moved out here, we'd look at it, because we would get the ones from your mom or something like
Mhm.
that. The thing is, there is no poking fun at local politics. Sure, there might be a political cartoon about whoever's in the White House at the moment, but that's it. And that's the thing that really kind of turns me out here, is it's like there is enough material out here. There's no need to look to Washington D.C. for something to make fun of politically.
No, everybody else is already doing it.
And that's it too. And I mean, really, you look at where Clallam County is located, it's the truth of it. It's the edge of America. It is on the edge. We are so far away from DC. They don't know who we are out here. I don't think I need to worry about who they are back there. But there is so much here locally that it's incredible to see and start learning what is going on out here, and it deserves a hard reaming of satire and memes
Hmm.
in a very good way, because I think people out here, based on the comments we get, like, did you expect the comments what we that we started getting?
No,
Right.
no, I thought we were just going to be putting it out for ourselves, really, because the stories we were writing, we would just laugh at them all the time and like, hey, let's put it out there, see if anybody pays attention.
Yeah, and then when the first time Jeff on his watchdog, he posted a thing for it, and again, I never asked, we never asked. I think it was just the most amazing thing. It just really organically happened. I mean, it's nice. It'd be nice to. It's like the thought of, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be great if he could like give us that watchdog bump? But it was never asked for. He just did it. So the idea that he saw this and he liked it, that was a really great sign to us. And then when those subscribers came in, like one day my phone just didn't stop with all the notifications. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was wonderful. So thank you to everyone who subscribes and shares it, because Jeff has told us that too. We are not on Facebook,
Mm-mm.
right? We don't go in there. But from what we hear, the stuff Straight Shooter is making the rounds in the world of Facebook, within the community, whatever it is. So thank you to those who are sharing it, because we we just kind of stick to the Substack, and the fact that people are sharing it tells us it's being enjoyed.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Um,
Right.
I, I read it. I'm awake so early. I read I read Jeff's and yours,
Hmm.
and when the straight shooter posts, I'll read it again because I can't remember what we wrote.
Right. Because
And then
yeah, because you don't see it once I edit it
yeah,
and put it together.
and then I'm usually on there before any comments come on there. So sometimes when I come home from work, I'll look at the comments and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, people like that. It's cool. But um, yeah, the comments. I just like the fact that there's something out there that people kind of understand what we're trying to do, which is just kind of get a giggle,
Yeah.
make fun of something a little bit and try to enjoy the area and just not think that everything is lost because
Right.
things might not be going our way. And I think that a lot of people that are kind of like us, um, and I run into a lot of people, and they're always kind of surprised that there are people that aren't lunatic lefties or activists or whatever, because it's like that seems to be the loudest voice out here.
Hmm.
um, the people that stand on the corner of Squim and Washington and hold up their signs for whatever they're protesting that Saturday,
Because they think
but
Trump's about to invade.
and yeah, um you'd think that there's no people with opposing viewpoints in the area.
Right.
And I think that it's good to have those opposing viewpoints, to put them out there, and to make fun of the people that are being ridiculous.
Banjo Bob, as
Yeah.
one commenter has called him, which is a great term. Yeah, it is, and that is a big part of it. It does feel like, for us, it's not that it's not allowed. It just feels like, well, you're the minority, just don't even say anything, because it kind of just stirs a pot up that is not worth stirring with some people. You don't want to bother with it. Um, But something I was gonna say, but I just kind of forgot what I was gonna say there for a moment.
Hmm. Okay.
So,
I think I would like to see more people like I'm really impressed by the people that leave comments in Jeff's blog, in your blog, and in the
hmm,
Straight Shooter. They have a lot of good information,
yeah,
and I'm just like, wow, like where's everybody digging this information up? So I would like to see more people coming up with their own Substacks and putting information out there. And if, somebody doesn't have the skills to write or, difficult with it because it takes me what an hour to write a paragraph sometimes because I'm so critical of everything that I write.
you mean typing speed or just thinking
Both.
speed?
Both. I have to go. I'm not a fast typer, but
You've improved though.
the I would like to see more people who have this information um, go a little bit more in depth, and um, I would suggest using AI to help them.
Hmm.
It's once you get going with it, it's really quick to just put information in there and post um, pretty unique stories,
Hmm.
whether it's for fun or if it's for just information content.
Yeah, because it was fun doing it with like for poems and stuff like that. Like when Jeff on the Watchdog was posting a lot about the poet laureate thing out here and seeing what some of these poems are. And to me, when I read that stuff, I'm like, yeah, I remember when I was in high school and thought I had to write like that too. And I see that stuff and I think, is this really what unites the community and brings the community together? Because I don't feel united by it. And I just thought it really funny when I just asked him, and I even did some out of Google AI, giving it just some prompts for a poem or something, and to say, give me a poem that's kind of in the style of a poet laureate that is all about out here, out here meaning Clallam County or Squim, something like that. And it would put out something really nice. And, I did plenty of poetry in my younger days when I was a miserable teenager. And what it can put out, I'm like, I can't create that something like that quickly. Like I really think hard on it. So it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah,
I'm not like intimidated by it or like, oh no, it's going to take over all the writing in the world. Because again, it's not the AI of it. It doesn't come up with these ideas on its own. It's not like, hey, AI, it sends us emails telling us what to do. It does. That's not how it works. We have to give it our ideas, and then it just takes it and makes it something even more than we thought it could be. A lot of times, we're even amazed. Like,
yeah.
you'll give it the prompt, and then it spits out something, and I'm just like, holy cow, that is so much funnier than even what I thought it would be like.
Well, what's kind of interesting about AI is that I have built, well, I haven't built it, but I've kind of created a straight shooter AI. So
Right.
when I go into ChatGPT, I have a GPT that is called Straight Shooter, and it remembers everything, every story that we've written.
Hmm.
It understands the concept of the straight shooter. It understands the tone and what we want to put out there. So it's it's learning.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of spooky sometimes because I'll tell it, hey, we want a story about this, this, and this, and it will say, okay, here's a straight shooter style article that's, really cuts to the point where you and I was like, oh yeah, I was going to bring that up, but it kind of
Right.
already anticipated that that's the way I wanted it. So it knows what we're making fun of and why we're making fun of it, which is
Right.
pretty interesting.
And it encourages us, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yeah.
does.
Like, would you like me to go harder with this? Would you like me to really dig into this particular person
Yeah,
or
or it'll say, "That's a great idea. Let me do that for you." And that's what I was thinking of earlier when you were talking about, there's kind of not that opposition voice out here.
Mhm.
It's kind of one narrative out here, one side of it. And that's what I think is really enjoyable, even when I read this stuff too, because you'll come up with ideas and you'll put out, you'll send me the article and I'll get it put in there. And then when I proofread everything right before I set it up to be published, I'm just laughing and I just laugh at the stuff, but that's what's missing a lot of times to me. We're very appreciative of satire and grew up with a lot of it in our own lives. The thing that's missing in it though is nowadays it seems like the only thing that can be made into satire is poking fun at Trump or the right. It's like the left can't be used in satire anymore. That's
Yeah,
that's what at least it seems like to me coming out of like mainstream media, mainstream entertainment. You know, you can make fun of the right and the mega people, all of that. That's just perfectly acceptable. As soon as you start making fun of activists or something, it's just like it just doesn't seem to happen enough.
well, in comedy, you're not supposed to punch down, and
Right.
most of these people are basically idiots, and so it's kinda like you're not supposed to you're not supposed to make fun of the idiots, and,
Well,
when you have people out
it's
there that
debatable.
are screaming with the trees and, they're
Yeah.
thinking grass has rights,
Yeah.
maybe these people aren't exactly on the same mental capacity as
Yeah. They
some
might
of us.
they can have their degrees and their professions and all of that, but there's a something just like skipped a groove in the thinking process to me.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Um,
Yeah. That's why it deserves to be made into satire, to really poke the fun at it and kind of see it when it's just twisted a little bit. It does, it just brings something more to light to maybe show how ridiculous it is. And it's wonderful to see those comments that people like truth satire. It's you almost don't know what you're reading
yeah.
for some of those articles because we do take factual information, a lot from Jeff on his watchdog stuff, things that are actually happening out here. And that is part of satire, is one of the most beautiful things about it. It is a very protected form of speech.
Mhm.
And we are not trying to use the name. I don't think we're intentionally doing it anyway. We're not using names of real people who are private citizens. But if someone is an elected position or even a bureaucrat where they are paid with tax dollars, that is a public position.
Yeah, we're using their name.
Yeah.
We're using their likenesses.
And they have, I mean, that's part of being in those positions. It opens them up to that. They are no longer protected private citizens. And that may not be a very popular thing to do out here because they do seem to be a very protected class of people out here. And that is not right to me. If Because the way I see it is that group of people who act like they are so protected, they're probably the first ones making fun of Trump. And if you can make fun of Trump, then anyone in public office can be made fun of.
Yeah, they're
And
fair game.
yeah.
And I hope they sue us. I hope they come
No.
after us and
I mean, I know it's like, well, it's protected. Satire is protected. It's parody is
yeah,
protected. It's First Amendment,
I've got the receipts. Like let them come after us. I'll happily go to court on that one.
I watched People versus Larry Flint a lot in my younger days.
See if
It's a right, it's what we can do and we're doing it. And the thing that kind of really makes it different too, like when I was talking with Jeff about if he would ever go into a full news outlet, like make it a full-fledged business or something, and that's not what he wants to do. And we don't want that either. We're not interested in monetizing this
no.
because really when it becomes into monetizing this kind of content, then it can really be targeted for lawsuits. from what I've read anyway. So it really walks a much finer line when content becomes monetized. So by not being monetized, we have even more freedom
Yeah.
to not be looked at as they're only doing this for the money or something. And nope, not at all. This is a hobby. This is funsies. This is something we believe and really think is needed out here based on so many of the wonderful comments and the subscribers and seeing the amount of people reading it and knowing it's going around in places we don't know about. That's just a very, very wonderful thing. So, we really thank people for that.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening and they have any ideas that they would like to throw
Hmm.
our way, we'll give them credit if they like as a straight shooter reporter and create a story based off of their idea.
Hmm.
Um, because I, I every week I think we're gonna run out of information. We're not gonna have
I
anything to
know.
do, and then we go drive around on a Saturday and come up with all kinds of things.
Just sit in a parking lot for 5 minutes and
Yes,
swim, you get ideas.
and just all kinds of things come to us, and then what about this? What about this? The day that we came up with the letter to the editor about the lady who didn't understand what boofing was,
Right.
that was we went on about that for hours. Everything was boofing, and then it was, is that an app? Is that like a DoorDash? Is that just coming up with ridiculous ideas of somebody because
I didn't know,
who
yeah.
would even think of the idea of boofing
Right.
and calling it boofing
Because
is
I
just so that's just parody on itself to me.
because I had been, Jeff reports on that, and I just like would read the word and not really think like I just figured it was okay. It's some kind of a kit boofing. So then I dug into it and I did a whole article about boofing and what it really is. And I'm just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
It's like people are doing that. No wonder they all have that slumped over effect. How else do you do it? But you got to slump yourself over to do it. And then I'm like, they're homeless and they're doing it, and then just the idea of like somebody not knowing what this term is, especially the idea, we're closer to Squim, we're not in the city, but that's our main area. And, it is a much older population there. And I just start thinking, what do some of these sweet little old ladies think when they start hearing and learning what this stuff
Well,
is?
I had to explain to my 80-year-old mother what boofing was, and her reaction was priceless.
Yeah. So some of the letters to the editor are kind of based on our own experiences with people too, I guess.
Yeah.
Like knowing what reactions and what people are dealing with and learning about in this community. So, it's there is a good mix of truth and like that, like it says, truth kind of. There is truth in it for sure. But it's kind of fun to read it and not know almost, is this real? Because it is ridiculous enough because of the way things operate out here. You just don't know.
Yeah, and um the lengths that people will go to try to gain money
Hmm.
and favor are just rife for satire.
Hmm.
Like the the pothole registry.
Yes.
Like I like if people are naming stars, which you can't
Right.
own a star. Like why not make potholes? There's thousands of
I know.
potholes. There's thousands, millions of stars, thousands of potholes. Let's have somebody name them. Adopt a pothole, and yeah, we go pretty hard on. Sometimes we go pretty hard on potholes, roundabouts, forks.
Yeah,
I
and no,
I feel kind of bad sometimes how much
yeah,
we rip on forks, but it's
we don't,
it's
yeah.
it's out of love.
It is, it to me, if anything, it's like, hey, Forks, we know you're out there. We want to include you in on this. And that's another thing, how we don't know all the little places out here. Not that Forks is a little place because our place is much smaller, but for where we
Beaver.
Beaver, right, exactly. Like we know Agnew and we know some of these places because that's near us. But yeah, I think ChatGPT came up with something, one of the Around the Strait articles, and it had a thing for beaver, and we're both like, where's beaver?
And had to look it up. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's real.
Yeah. So we're learning as well, but we do it because yeah, we want people to feel included out here. And we know sometimes it's a lot of PA and Squim because they are the bigger cities out here. But yeah, we're definitely always open, and we do get suggestions from people and give us great ideas, and it never hurts because the two of us run out of ideas sometimes, and anything coming in, people, we're just two people. So I know there's a lot of interesting creative ideas in this area. So we do invite people to contact us, reach out, either, message me through Calamity Jen message through the Straight Shooter on Substack. We respond. Well, I respond anyway, do my best to. But there's plenty of material and people have ideas, and yeah, we're definitely happy to give a byline to it because no one's getting paid in this, so we don't care. It doesn't all have to be by the Straight Shooter staff, which it's really just Chat GPT.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's we
But
we just
yeah,
kind of tell it what to do.
but that's what's kind of fun about it is we live in an era right now where newspapers are struggling and trying to figure out what to do because AI is maybe a bit of a threat to them. And we're just embracing AI. Like I don't use it much on my whenever I use it for Calamity Gen, I say, oh, I had Chat GPT or AI write this up. And I like it because it kind of gives me a break from writing and just maybe making some memes to go with it. But we're embracing it. And sometimes I'm like, boy, I think some news agencies are going to have to learn they got to embrace this stuff because it's very helpful. And
Yeah, I
and and if it replaces people doing the actual writing versus just, you put in the data and let it write out all the flowy words to make it all connected, I'm not scared of that happening. I think that's just part of progress. I come from a world of court reporting, and my dad was always told you're going to be replaced by computers, you're going to be replaced by recording devices, and it's slowly happened, but there's still humans involved. But I've learned over the years that sometimes these things happen, you can't save the horse and buggies. You can't save the buggy whip industry. That just at what point are you just trying to save an industry that everything else is saying it's time to go? And you got to embrace what's coming at you and move forward. So I like that we're embracing AI and using it to bring maybe some joy and happiness and laughter and hilarity into people's lives because they need it out here, I think.
yeah, I was real hesitant to use AI for a long time because I read so many horror stories and I watched the Terminator movies way too much and figured, this is it. This is when the robots come and
Space Odyssey,
yeah, just
Odyssey.
take us out, eject us out shoot us out into space. But um, that's probably coming. But for right now,
Right,
I think it's fun that it makes some stories that can make people laugh. If anybody, it's making us laugh, so I
definitely.
enjoy it.
And
I just kind
yeah,
of it's a bonus that anybody else finds it funny.
and that's another part of the litmus test. Is it too much? Yeah. Okay, now we go with that. Did it make us laugh?
Yeah,
Because there are some things like the other day, there an article we put out this last week about the Squim tourism, how they're not allowing any new ideas and all this stuff. And when you read that to me, the thing about Sunshiny Sam, the
yeah,
mascot with one
one
eye,
eye.
I just I just couldn't stop laughing. It just the image of it, and it's just hilarious. And we really hope other people enjoy it. And we can tell people do because we get likes and comments and just knowing it's making the round. So this is also just really saying thank you to the people who are enjoying it because we didn't really expect it.
No,
It was just kind of funsies for us, and now seeing other people are really into it and very appreciative, like thanking us for what we're doing. And it's
yeah,
like that's how much humor was needed out here. Oh my goodness, no wonder people have had it so rough out here. There's just not enough good humor, and I'm really glad and touched that people are getting that out of it.
Yeah, we welcome dissenting opinions also. If if
Yeah,
people don't like us, we want to hear about it too.
because then that becomes content.
Yeah, we'll make fun of you.
That's just kind of how it goes. So, okay, well, that's good. So maybe we'll do another talk some other time if there's anything really new to add. But that's kind of what Straight Shooter is about. This is who we are behind it. But you know, I call you Straight Shooter because you conceptualized it and really put it all together with the help of
Yeah, but it's
ChatGPT.
it's it's really a team effort. We both come up with
Sure.
stories,
And we rely on the
and
watchdog
yeah,
and a lot of what he posts,
hmm
and then the comments. Because like I said, we read through comments, and there's sometimes, yeah, I read a comment, I just read one sentence in someone's comment, and boom, I got an idea, and I'm like, oh, here's this idea, so comments are never go to waste, no matter which site they're on. We're reading them and may not always interact, but we're reading them because we get great ideas from them. People are writing their own satire almost and don't know it. We just put it through the little system and it shoots it out.
yeah. And if someone gives us a story idea, we will definitely give you a no prize.
A no prize.
Yep,
Definitely. We are all
that's
about the no prize.
located in that one building by Squim that
Down in
says for
when it's
lease
empty, it says release. Yeah.
by the
Because
by the burnt out light,
that's
right
right.
right in there between 2 and 4 p.m.
That's it. Okay, so we'll call that a wrap. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you are listening to this, maybe it's out in the podcast cyberspace and you're like, what is Straight Shooter? So it's straight, Strait, because we have a straight out here. Straight Shooter. I think Substack is straightshooter360.substack.com, but pretty much can find us there and have a read and hopefully laugh because it is needed. So thank you, John, my
Welcome.
wonderful husband, and thank you all for listening.